Hey guys, it's Mrs. McDermott, and I just wanted to do a quick video just kind of touching base at the end of the marking period here. Today is Friday, November 1st. Report cards will go out next week, and tonight I will have updated all the creative writing grades, so you should be able to go on there tomorrow and see what your final grade for the marking period will be. All right, so I have quite a few things I want to go over. We're going to have some changes in the class that I think are going to make things hopefully easier on everybody. As you can see, we have this new QuickTime Player thing where I can share my screen with you while I make videos, which is pretty cool. I'm going to be doing that a lot for creative writing and English. So what I might do is send you each links along with my comments on your stories, just kind of pointing things out if I need to. So, okay. First thing I want to talk about is that since the beginning of the year, we have shrunk. Creative writing has shrunk a little bit. We had 9 people originally, and because of extenuating circumstances, we are down to 6, which is actually really, really good because it's going to help me stay on track with editing and commenting on stories, and it's also just going to help you guys because now it's just 3 and 3, and it's a good number. So I apologize for being behind right now on the commenting and editing your stories, but I'm gonna make some changes to hopefully help that not happen anymore. So, one thing that I kind of think maybe isn't working is that I thought that having 5 pages of writing, new writing, due every other week was going to help because I thought, okay, everyone will have 2 weeks to write 5 pages, but what I'm seeing happen for the most part, this isn't everybody, but a lot, is that procrastination is still happening and the 5 pages every other week are being rushed at the last minute, and that's just not what I wanted. So what I'm going to do, and I've talked to a few students and they are completely on board with this, so hopefully everybody will be, but instead of having 5 pages due every other week, I'm just going to have everybody turn in at least 2 pages every single week. So no matter how many pages you wrote before, there will always be a minimum of 2 due every week. And another change is that the due date now will be Friday for everybody. I'm hoping Friday, being the end of the week, will be a good reminder that that's when your new set needs to come in. And so from here on out, 2 pages a week for everybody. We'll still have group 1 and group 2 as far as peer review. But another change that I'm making is that you're not going to have to peer review every week. You'll just do it every other week. And another change is that you don't have to fill out the peer review sheet anymore. You can just write your comments and your suggestions right there on the story as you edit, just like I do. So no more pulling that peer review sheet. If you don't want to, you just go ahead and write it on their story. So 2 pages every week, peer review every other week. I'll make sure you know what week is yours. It will be clear. But I will say that I need everybody to be in communication with me all the time. You can't disappear from Edmodo. You can't not check your email. I need everybody checking Edmodo every single day and your email every single day. Edmodo should be kicking to your email, but you need, this whole class is on Edmodo. There's no E2020, so it's just really important to be staying up to date. I post something on there probably 3 times a week, so you need to be checking that. And just to help hold you accountable to doing that, I'm going to start having a participation grade every week as well, which just means that you go on Edmodo, you answer my posts. If I post something to you, answer my emails. I'll make sure I specify when I want you to answer. When I post a video like this, I need you to write, okay, I saw it and I understand. Some people are good with that, some people not so much. So I just need you to reply that you've seen my videos and have watched them and understand. So there will be a participation grade. Okay, I am going to show you a couple things here. You should be able to see my screen. And over here on Edmodo, I'm going to show you a couple changes that I am going to be making. Okay, so the peer review, right there, let me shrink this a little bit. This is so new to me, but it's pretty cool that I can share my screen with you guys. Okay, so peer review over here where you see my little hand icon there. This is where you are going to still post your peer review when it's due. Again, you can see here Philip had posted his comments and then the peer review sheet. So now it will just be the comments and editing and not the peer review sheet. You won't have to worry about that. I'm hoping that taking that out will just be one less thing that you'll have to do. But when it's your week to peer review, make sure you put it in this small group. Edited revisions. This group, what I'm going to do is just take it out, the small group, because people aren't posting their revisions. So I still need you to edit and actually do the revisions according to my comments and your partner's comments. But what I'll do is I'll just give you the grade when I see that you've done that. So I'm going to take this out because I think it's too much, but up here in the grades, you'll still have a grade for edited revisions. So here's what it looks like. Friday, you turn in your 2 pages. I comment, partner comments, send it back. The next Friday, when your next set is due, just post the story and I'll see that you've done the editing. So you don't have to post a separate edited revisions, just post your whole story. And that's another thing. People who are posting their story in chunks, that they're awesome, but I want the whole story every week. So, you know, you got your first chapter, second chapter, just keep it all attached as one document and send it every week. And then I can see that you have edited. If you haven't, if you post the story and I see that you have not edited to my comments, then you will get a 0 for editing. That takes me a really long time to do, so I just need you, and we're going to be publishing, so I need you to actually complete the edits, and I'll just look the next week when your next set is due to see that you've done that. So again, don't worry about this over here, edited revisions. I'm going to delete that, but make sure that you're editing and you'll still get a grade for that. I will still post here Mrs. McDee's editing comments every week as I finish them. If I do get behind again, I'm going to try so hard not to. If I do, please forgive me. You'll still have your 2 pages due every single week, even if I haven't managed to comment on the last week. There's no reason that you can't still update 2 pages. So again, I'm going to try really hard to not get behind, but if I do, just always assume that every Friday you have 2 pages due. Okay, and then we've got our sets here, and I will keep posting them. So hopefully that is all clear. Edited revisions, still a grade, not a small group, don't have to post them separately. It's a little bit overkill, I understand that. No peer review suggestion sheet, just the comments, and you will get a grade for participation. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to talk about with the changes. Again, please post that you've seen this video. Just hit reply in Edmodo. And then something else that I wanted to show you really quick is something called track changes. I usually just write comments and tell you how, what to edit or suggestions or things like that. But there is something called track changes that I also am going to start doing part of the time. For the most part, I'm still going to comment and just edit that way, because if I do track changes all the time, then what I'm doing is editing for you, and then you're not learning anything. But if I see some things that I know are just a mistake that you made or something like that, like you forgot, like let's say if you look over here, an end quote, I might just add it for you, okay? Up here you can see this track changes button. What that means is that anything that I do to your paper that's not a comment, anything that I fix for you using track changes, is going to show up in red. So here's an example. Let's pretend that this period, let's pretend that it's missing. Okay, this is Cody's, by the way. I hope he doesn't mind. I don't think he will, but he does a great job. So let's say that that period's not there. What I'm going to do is go to track changes, and I'm going to add that period. You can see it appears in red, and so Cody can see that I just inserted that. So you'll still be able to see it, but then what you can do is click on it and then go up here to the little check mark and accept the change. If you're using a PC or an older version of Microsoft Word, I believe the track changes button is up here in review, it's called. So that's how you can do that. So if you see that there's some red stuff in your paper, it just means that I made track changes and I need you to accept them. The other option is reject the change, but again, I'm not going to make any changes that I feel like you should reject. So you can see over here my comments, those are still going to be there for the most part, but if I see little things that need fixing, I might just do a track change and you can accept it. Towards the end, before we publish, I'll probably do mostly just track changing. And then just, and while I have Cody's paper up here, Cody, I'm going to brag about you for a little bit. I just want you to see how well he writes his dialogue, how if you look at my cursor, when one person talks and then he skips to the next line and another person talks and then he skips to the next line, it reads just like a book. So if you ever are kind of curious about how to write dialogue, I highly recommend looking at Cody's story. You all have access to each other. So he does just a beautiful job with dialogue here. So lovely. Okay, another thing is with editing, I'm noticing that sometimes, and I think this is because of the 5 pages every other week, some of the work is rushed sometimes, and basically all I have to say about that is please proofread your work before you turn it in, only because if you look at this paper, Cody's, that I'm using as an example, this is already really, really nicely edited. I'm only having to do a few comments here and there, and that's exactly what it should be. So if I see that you've turned in a couple of pages and you're not capitalizing things that I know you should be, or you're not using punctuation, and just either rushed or lazy work, I'm probably just going to send it back to you and ask you to proofread it, because it just takes way too much time for me to make comments on things that I know you guys know better. So give it a look over before you turn it in. I'm not going to grade you down for making a mistake here and there. Obviously, that's fine. But if it's like I can tell that you just kind of cranked it out, turned it in, didn't look at it, then I'm probably going to ask you to proofread it yourself first. So please just kind of keep that in mind. There's one of me and a lot of you, and you guys, I handpicked you to be in this class because you are the best writers that I teach. And so just keep that in mind when you turn in your work. I hold you to a high standard for that reason. So, do me a favor and just do the best work that you can do every week. So I hope that everything is clear. I hope that all of these changes are going to be helpful. Again, 2 pages every week. I will say we're still gonna skip next week, so nothing's due next week for anybody. Just take a break and finish the rest of your classes. And I'm gonna cruise through the week and catch up on my commenting on all of your work.